Have you figured out your niche? Are you helping adding value to other people's lives? Then you're in the right place. Welcome to Munira's Musings with your host, Munira Zahabi.
Greetings from Chicagoland. How are you, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Munira's Musings. My guest today is Karen Robinson, all the way from Virginia. How are you, Karen? Welcome to Munira's Musings.
I'm great. Thanks for having me today. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I'm just getting over a cold. I had a house full of people, but now it's all good. Sent everybody to their homes. I have my life back. My office back, actually. So the thing is, we do Munira's Musings every week. It's on Monday. Today is Tuesday, but we've been putting this show off for a while, so we just wanted to come back and give Karen a chance to showcase herself, to see what she has done. She is a healer, and she helps people with what?
Yeah, I'm actually a mental health therapist and a transformation coach. So I help people, mostly career mothers, recover after trauma. So most of the clients I have had childhood abuse of some sorts, physical, sexual, emotional abuse, neglect, some sexual assaults, domestic violence. So that's kind of my forte, to work with people like that. I do have mental health clients. I do therapy still, and I work with people with all sorts of diagnoses: depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress, bipolar, pretty much everything. So I love my work. If I went back to college tomorrow and got to pick a career all over again, I would pick social work again. I love what I do. Love serving others.
That's very awesome. So just a little bit about Munira's Musings. We bring a guest every week, and we showcase them because they've already figured out their niche, and they are helping other people overcome or transition into whatever they want to become. And mostly the people that you see on this show are people who have overcome and who have transitioned. And it's not the end, right? Transition happens all the time. But this show is to help other people who are on the sidelines trying to figure if they want to have a career of their own, or if they want to start their business or create something from the experiences that they have had, to just start and execute, not just stand on the sidelines and think about it. So let's start with Karen. Let's start from the beginning. Did you always want to do this, or did you transition from something into this career?
Okay, great question. So there is a transition. I've always wanted to be a service-driven social worker. That's how I describe myself. However, I did transition from working for the federal government to working out of my home. So I do teletherapy for different companies, but I also have my own business. It's called Heal, Thrive, Dream. And I also own another business called Heal, Thrive, Dream e-commerce empire. And my goal for this company is to help women who are just really unhappy with their work situations, who want to work from home, but also just have the peace of not having like workplace drama. If they have a supervisor or boss that's, getting on their last nerve, or maybe they're being harassed at work in some kind of way, it's nice to be your own boss. Then you can set your hours, work when you want to work, you can travel. So I basically sell e-commerce stores to anyone who wants to start up their own store. I also have a full service digital agency. So I help new businesses with their logos, their websites, getting a virtual assistant, all things with running an online business. I help with that. And then I offer coaching practices for women who are finally ready to feel better after many years of not knowing what's quite wrong. Like they feel like their traumas in the past, they should be over it. But the truth is, we don't get over trauma very easily. It impacts every single area of our life. So my coaching practice is to not slap on a band-aid, but to really help with deep wound healing, like just like being a surgeon going in and really studying the wound, cleaning it very thoroughly, and gently, packing up the wound, stitching it. And then after, you have a scar that you did your work on. It's a scar of courage. It's not that you wanted it, you don't want trauma, but you are proud of the work that you've done. And the last step of my coaching practice, I'm going to be running groups virtually so I can serve more women worldwide that are going through trauma. And once they are feeling better, or towards the middle of their recovery, I want them to work on community service projects where they're helping other women, because that's a huge part of our healing too, is when we're giving back to others.
That's so awesome, right? So you've got your cup full, right? You've got your plate. I think you don't have a plate, you have a platter, right? So you've always wanted to help people, but how did you segment into these different kinds of businesses? And what came about?
Well, I went to a conference once. It was called Dream Building by Mary Morrissey. And it really just set in my head that like our brain, our souls are just the potential we have is limitless. Like there is nothing that's impossible, right? And so I believe that, but I also, wanted to have different plans in place so I can do what I want in my future, but also serve on a larger global level. And the more avenues you have of diversification in your business, the more likely that you're going to succeed. So if one part of the business starts not generating revenue, you have these other revenue streams that help keep your business going and continue to provide services for others. So that was my thinking around that.
You said the key word, right? Multiple streams of income. That's awesome, right? I just had a post on my Facebook page where I said, when you think about having multiple streams of income, some people have 4, some people have 5, and the people just said, it's a must to have. Now you said that you worked with federal government. Do you still work with them?
No, I did that for 17 years. And during COVID, I decided to leave.
So most people would keep, because of the benefits, they would keep this job. Why did you decide to leave?
Well, there's a lot of reasons, but the final reason was I just really wanted to be my own boss. I felt very oppressed at times, not always. I had great supervisors over the years, I've had some great assignments, but a lot of times working in large political systems, there's a lot of oppression. And I just didn't want it anymore. I wanted to work when I wanted to work. If my kids needed something, I want to be there for them and not worry about getting, reprimanded at work. I want to put my family first, and
a lot of women are feeling, I'm sorry to cut you off, but there's so many people who are feeling that because women now feel like that their children need them. And I think this was a rude awakening with COVID, right? And when all the women and everybody started working from home, it just created a nice atmosphere for everybody to be under one roof and see what each other was doing. Because most of the time when parents go out to work, kids don't know what their parents do or how stressful their job is. And I understand, I wasn't in that boat, my kids are grown, but I understand from other parents that their kids were now more affectionate, or they were more understanding because they see what the daily routine is for the parents. And I like that, right? And so COVID has taught us a lot of things, right? Now, so you said that you always wanted to help people, and you help people create their income streams, and you wanted to do all of that. Why do you think you should empower women?
Because women, we're amazing. There's nothing that we can't do. And women still, if you look at economics, we're still making a lot less than men do, especially women who are minorities make a lot less than, you know, what a Caucasian man would make. And so that still is not fixed. It's been many, many years of us working towards it. We have a ways to go. So women who are entrepreneurs have a better chance actually of, you know, making more money and having more fulfilling lives in all areas of their life.
You know, that's awesome. So what do you tell women who are thinking about doing something and they haven't yet taken the first step?
Yeah, it's a really hard first step if you are in a job with excellent benefits. It's like I had a client yesterday, we were talking about it. It's a hard decision. And so I just tell women it's okay to tip your toe in. Like maybe you take like if you want to be a coach, maybe you take a couple courses, you know, really explore that self-development to see what your interests are. It's okay not to jump into the new thing with both feet. That just happens to be my personality. You know, when I want to do something, I kind of jump in. And so far it's worked well for me. But if it's not your personality to jump both feet in, it's okay to kind of, your intuition, you know, the God inside of you, your intuition will tell you when you are ready. Like it'll just be clear, and then it's go time from there. So it's okay to explore and take your time until then.
Wonderful. So women, you said, are good at anything, but then we still hold back. We do. And I'm a woman too, and I did that for a long time. I kept holding myself back. What do you think is the problem? Why do we hold ourselves back? Why can't we just, like you, jump in with 2 feet?
Well, I still hold back, believe it or not. Self-sabotage is huge for us. I also think with our societal training, you know, we are raised to be more passive. We're raised to put everything else first, you know, other relationships, other problems, other people. So I think doing your own internal work, you know, working on your self-worth, your confidence, like a really awesome book I recommend is called Self-Compassion by Dr. Neff. Like doing that kind of work, learning how to have positive conversations with yourself, you know, and when you hear a negative voice in your head, you know, the critic, we call it, you know, just say no, go away. Like, I want to believe good things about myself, because when you believe good, encouraging things about yourself, you do good, you know. So it's really retraining our brain to be more kind to ourselves, then we get more done.
So one thing you said, retraining your brain. How does that happen, and how long does it take?
Okay, that's a great question. I do a lot of work on that. That's one of my expertise as well. There's all kinds of ways on how to do it. It's because it's spiritual, but it's also cognitive, like CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. And so what you're doing is, first you're studying how you think. You try to catch yourself when you have a negative thought or belief, and then you learn how to analyze it. And I teach tools on how to analyze your thoughts. There's many different ways to how to analyze your thoughts. And then after you go through that process, I then teach you on how to make counter statements. Another word for counter statement is affirmations. So instead of saying to yourself, like, I'm stupid, when that happens, you would say, no, I'm capable of learning, or I'm intelligent, whatever feels better. If you have the thought, I never do anything right, it's like, no, I make good decisions. I do things right all the time, you know? So it's practicing those counter statements over and over and over. And then one day you wake up and the thought's been replaced, but it's work. People want easy
You have to
solutions.
do it every day. Now, do you recommend it like, doctor says take a pill 3 times a day, 4 times a day? Do you recommend it that many times, or is this just 1 a day at a time? Okay.
You ask really great questions. I don't know if you're aware of that, but that's a perfect question. I do recommend that they're the affirmations, your counters are the first thing you look at when you wake up in the morning. They're the last thing you look at before you close your eyes for the night, but you also should do them throughout the day, like around lunch. I also recommend people do them in front of a mirror where they're planting their feet, their chest is out, and they are projecting their voice. So very confident, say it as if that you believed it. Now, of course, when you're first doing it, you don't necessarily believe it yet, but the goal is the more you do it, one day it'll be automatic thought for you. So it's a beautiful process. When I help people learn the skills, I've seen grown men just bawl, because they've never have said positive stuff to themselves before.
So, so you said the reason I do that, because I come from the pharma world, so I know it's once a day, so at least twice a day. You said that. Now, second thing you said is that people are not aware of speaking positively to themselves. They don't, and it's usually, oh my God, how can I make this mistake? I'm so stupid, like you said, right? Why is it that we put ourselves down?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, there's lots of different theories out there, but I call it the low road and the high road. So the low road it's just easier to basically fall down on that low road and just kind of roll with the negative thought, like, why bother doing that? I always mess it up anyway. Where the high road, you actually have to climb up on, like you have to envision climbing the mountain or climbing up a ladder. It's work to have positive thoughts. It's work to hold yourself accountable. And just because I teach it doesn't mean I do it perfectly. Like you asked my husband, I have lots to work on in terms of getting to that high road, having the beliefs on like how to have a healthy lifestyle, So there's high road beliefs about our physical health, our mental health, our spiritual health, our relationships. So it's a lot of work, time and practice. That's how you do it.
I've had different coaches on my show, right? And they all say, start with affirmations. Let's start talking to yourself in a positive way. What I've never understood is why we start talking why we have to instill the positive way of thinking. I mean, what made us start thinking negatively? That I have never figured out. And nobody can answer that right question.
Well, I think I can a little bit.
Go ahead.
I think it starts with just childhood stuff. As children, when we're told something, we believe it and we hang on to it. So if we have a critical parent or an abusive parent, whatever they're saying, we own it, we take it on and we internalize it. Or it could be a teacher. If your teacher says, well, that was stupid, she might have meant like your answer then, but kids internalize it. If you have a friend and they betray you, kids internalize it. So it almost always starts in childhood, or it could be from a relationship, like a young teen girl in her first relationship. She so much wants to be pleasing to her partner. And then whatever he says, she may internalize. And so that's how it kind of starts, and it just comes habitual that we keep it going forward.
Okay.
Someone said it must be true.
No, I mean, it's true, right? Because my parents were critical, right? I see now the parenting styles have changed because I have grandkids and my kids speak to them differently. Hey, that was good. Maybe you should do this. And Daniel Tiger is a good example, because if you watch that show, the one, they have a song for everything, but they always say it differently. They never say, hey, you're stupid, right? The things they teach. So I've kind of learned from the kids of today, but our parents, my parents, weren't like encouraging. They were like, you don't know how to do it, you'll always be stupid, right? That was their upbringing. They didn't know any better, and I'm not blaming anything. But what I'm saying now is that we need to then instill these affirmation habits in young ones right now, right? What do you think about that? I mean, shouldn't we teach these kids how to be positive right from the beginning when they go to school or something?
Yeah, it would be nice if schools consistently had programs in place. I do think there are more schools working on that, like when they talk about, being more kind, like the anti-bullying campaigns work more on positive thinking. And also there's more social workers and therapists in schools nowadays than there were in the past. When I've been a school social worker, so I would teach what's called social skills, and would have classes on, how to get along better with others, how to have social grace, emotional intelligence type of things. Those core skills really help kids, feel better about themselves and feel better about being in relationship with others. So
this is such a wonderful conversation. Maybe we could go on, right? But tell us 2 things that women should do, those people who are listening today. They can start today, that they can just take over and start working on it without even having a coach or anything like that.
Mhm. Okay, so the first thing I would recommend is the good old journal. Doing the stream of consciousness journaling, where you're just freely writing about everything that's in your head that you're worried about, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, your dreams. Like, just get in the habit of writing. And it doesn't have to be every day, but when you can, it's an excellent habit to have. And then the second thing would be working on affirmation cards. You can find them anywhere. You can find them in the Bible. You can find them in any spiritual text. They are full of them. You can ask someone you love and trust, like, what is something positive I should be believing about myself? And write that down and start practicing those, every day as much as possible. So those are the 2 big things I would recommend.
Having a journal, write everything down, and then use your affirmation. Now, you said they can find them in the Bible, right? Is there a special affirmations that you like that you can recommend?
I have a ton that I love, but one of them is I am a miracle. I love that one. I love I am beautiful inside and out. I am strong inside and out. I love things like my life has purpose and meaning.
I love that.
Things like that.
Yeah. Okay. So how do people find you, Karen?
Well, there's many, many ways. The easiest way is probably giving my email address, but I do have on social media, I do have a website, which is healthrivedream.com. And then my email is healthrivedream@gmail.com.
Awesome.
So those are probably the 2 easiest ways.
Awesome. See, the thing is that you've got that training in the background where you've decided you want to help people, and you've done social work before, and you've done school work before, and I think you've helped all kinds of people in different age groups already. And that makes you an all-rounded person who can help anybody that walks the walk, right? And
23 years now.
28?
23 years.
23. Oh, wow. So ladies and gentlemen, here you have a professional who can change your life, who can make things positive. But if you don't want to look her up, just take the things with everybody. There's a lot of coaches who's come through Munira's Musings, and they've all said just journal. you don't have to have anything pre-planned, but just start writing the words that flow, right? Just write, but then have your affirmations like my life is full of purpose and I am beautiful, I am strong, all of those things. One of the tips that I learned was I just was going through something and I saw that this one lady had all these apps on her phone, and she had put all these apps together. So she had the Word and the Microsoft, all of the things together. And so she said, I am resourceful. And then she had the prayer things. She had one prayer app or something. And then she said, I am blessed. And then she had all the banking apps and she says, I am rich or I am abundant or something like that. So every time you look at your phone, those things work together. And it just, just made so much sense. I did the same thing on my tablet and my phone. Hey, you know what? I'm seeing it every day. I don't have to chant it, but you are on your phone every single day. And if you're looking for an app, you're going to look at those things. And sometimes I just bypass it because I know where the apps are, but either your banking app or your Word app or your Canva app, because the Canva and everything else was I am creative, right? Mm-hmm. So things like that. You don't have to say it, but you see it. And when you see it, your mind automatically recants and chants. So, just little tips for yourself. I don't know if this is going to help anybody, but hey, ladies and gentlemen, if you like this show, go ahead, like, share, and subscribe, because, we could go on with this subject. The thing is, it's all in our mind. All we have to do is take it out of our mind and implement, execute. And if you're standing on the sideline and trying to figure out what you should do next, either look Karen up or look me up and see if we can help you, because everybody here is here to help you, but we just don't want you to be stagnant. Karen, any last words?
You reminded me with the app thing. One of my favorite affirmations too is I am abundant in every way.
There you go. See, and and then every time I open up my camera, the first thing you see is your face, and then you're smiling, and then that could be your mirror too. So you have these tools right in front of you, and all you have to do is do that. I have an app called Evernote, and I use the free version of it. And sometimes I just journal there. And but the best thing is that you use your microphone on your phone and just talk, and it types it out for you, so you don't have to work hard enough. Okay, you know what? There's so many tips and tricks that we can do, but all we want you to do is stop thinking about it and take action. Ladies and gentlemen, until next Monday, today's Tuesday, I know, but next Monday, we have a new guest with a new perspective, and we can showcase that person on our show, and go ahead and implement. Let's do this together. Thank you, Karen. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Munira's Musings with your host, Munira Zahabi. If you enjoyed our show, please share and subscribe to this channel. And for more content, please join our Facebook group.